Good morning and or afternoon or what time zone you're in. It is the 7th of July. And Huey, it is episode 274. You got to be kidding me. After 6 years, you can't figure out how to
No,
there
I
you
turned that double monitor thing on, and I couldn't find the right place to
Oh,
turn
you're on the other monitor.
it.
I
No,
told you. I
I
I told you that's the thing. You never want to change anything, right? 274 issues, right?
yes, very good. We're still
Listen,
hanging in there.
and you got to get really good because you're on deck for the next 2 weeks, remember?
Yep, I know.
You got to be on point here.
I'm still
And
trying to get
so
caught up.
yeah, there you go. And so welcome to everyone to we have a great show for you today. Lots of fun things to do and lots of interesting programs. Just a couple of before we get going, a couple of reminders. First of all, Tech for Senior Live, our Thursday show where we go over all the news. We're on holidays for a month, so that will be starting on August the 7th for a bang up show because we'll have to have all the news of July and we got to do that all in just 1 hour. So we're going to have our running shoes on for that show, but that'll be August the 7th and we will be back. And of course, I mentioned I'll be away or well, I'll be around, but Hugh's going to be doing the show for the next 2 weeks because I have so much company and we will be yep, and so this show will be going on as usual and we'll be doing all our regular stuff, and it's good news that Huey has his computer back and it's working,
Yeah,
which is
Dell
great.
was nice enough to make sure that I had everything ready so I could take over next week.
There you go. That's right. I talked to Michael Dell this week and he said don't worry, I'll get Huey's computer fixed. Tech for Senior, we have our premiere video coming up in half past the hour. Three great ones this week. I'm going to be talking about communicating and communicating with your families. Ray's going to talk about Ray Baxter. Remember Ray? He's going to talk about what an NPU is. What's the difference between a CPU and an NPU? And I'm going to go over what Gemini Live is and how you can use Gemini Live. And that will all be coming at half past the hour. And I'll put the link in the chat for those of you who don't subscribe to our newsletter, because of course that was in our newsletter on Saturday, which was all about Gmail. And in the newsletter, you will have seen the new Gmail feature that is manage subscriptions. And I'm going to be talking about that today. But for those of you who subscribe to the newsletter will know all about this. And we do want to thank our sponsors, which of course is the Glendora Computer Club in California. We want to thank you so much for sponsoring. Of course, Geeks on Tour again. Thank you for Chris and Jim for sponsoring our newsletter. And APCUG, Association of Personal Computer User Groups, for sponsoring our newsletter on Saturday. Let me just introduce everyone today. Of course, everybody knows Huey. Welcome, Huey, and it's nice to see you back and smiling and your wonderful computer running.
Yep, glad to be back. About
Excellent.
85% there.
Bill James, are you around? What did you do with your I'm going to take off my spotlight. I can't see Bill. He must have gone. And anyway, and then of course Chris and Jim are here.
I'm here. I'm here.
Are you? Where'd you go? I was introducing you to the world.
Oh,
This is your big introduction. I was saying I was going to say wonderful things about you and you weren't there.
oh, continue.
He's a wonderful guy. Anyway, and then of course we have Chris and Jim Guld, who are up in Alaska, which is a long way away. Well, not too far
Near,
from me, actually.
near Juneau. We're in the inside passage at a small port called Icy Straits that is completely native.
Huna,
Huna.
There we go.
Tlingit people are here.
And
And
then,
we have wonderful photos, and we put the link to the photo album in the chat.
excellent. Thank you. I see that. That's great. And I can't, is Mike Leaman, are you around where I can't see?
He's here.
I'm
You must,
here.
you must be on the other screen. There you are. Oh, there you are. Okay. All right.
Maybe if you use two monitors, Ron, you could see those
Yeah,
things.
right.
Ron, you need
But
to
then I
make
get
him
three
a
pages.
co-host.
What happens when you get 3 pages? You need three monitors. Oh, it gets too complicated. So welcome, Mike. I look forward to your music today. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Well, I know it's going to be cool because I already listened to them, right? Because I'm playing the videos. So I know all about it, but I'm not going to say a word. We'll talk about that when we get to your section. But welcome, Mike. It's nice to see you back again. All right. So I want to get on with the show. What we're going to talk about first is the new Gmail feature that's coming out. I did show this in the newsletter, but I think this is really going to be a cool feature. You probably don't have it yet, but I do. So anyway, so watch this, and I think you'll find this interesting. Gmail's new subscription feature, a game changer for your inbox. I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. This is where we help seniors navigate the digital world and help them with their cluttered inbox. And today we're going to talk about a new feature, Gmail's new subscription feature, which I'm sure you're going to be excited about, and it is rolling out as I speak. I live in Canada, and I have the feature. It's amazing. We did get it before my partner, Hewie Poplock, got it in Florida. So it is rolling out, but I want to show you this is a great feature and something you for sure you'll want to use. You don't have to do anything to set it up. It's just going to be there. But you might not know where to find it. So let me show you how this works. Now, if you're tired of sifting through endless newsletters and promotional emails, Google just rolled out a new Gmail feature that's about to make your whole life a lot easier, especially if you subscribe to a lot of content like I do. Now let's explore what this new Gmail subscription management tool is all about, how it works, and why you'll love it. So what is the Gmail subscription feature? Well, Gmail now includes a dedicated subscriptions tab that helps you quickly view, manage, and unsubscribe from promotional emails and newsletters, and it's all in one place. Instead of having to hunt through your promotions folder or clicking tiny unsubscribe links at the bottom of emails, Gmail puts a new tool in your Gmail subscription. Gmail's new tool puts all your email subscription in one clean list. So to summarize, all your subscriptions are in one place. It's easy to unsubscribe. You can sort by activity, and you can also bulk unsubscribe. This is a game changer for me. All right, let's see how it looks in my Gmail account. Now I'm showing you this in Gmail on the web. So let's have a look and see how this looks. As we look off to the right, you'll see my Gmail inbox. So it's right here. And as we come down, you'll see these are the usual tabs that we have. So as we come down, I want you to click the little More button here. And then what's going to bring this up is you're going to see a new category at the bottom here that says Manage Subscriptions. I want you to click the Manage Subscriptions, the Manage Subscription tab, and you're going to bring up another menu that looks like this. And now you see where the meat of this all is. You'll see that these are all my, and I've got pages and pages of this, these are all my subscriptions. Well, let's have a look at the top one here. This is from Amazon.ca, and this of course is the news from Amazon.ca, and it tells me I've got over 20 email recently, and if I wanted to unsubscribe, I just hit the unsubscribe button. Now, if you do want to see all your email that you did get, you just click the top here, and it will list all the email that you're getting for this news, for this subscription. And again, if you click the unsubscribe, you'll get a note like this, and you just click the unsubscribe button here, and you're unsubscribed from the newsletter. No more hunting and messing around trying to figure out how to find that unsubscribe button. It's all here for you. So why this matters? Well, managing a cluttered inbox can be frustrating, especially when you get dozens of emails you never look at. This new feature is simpler than digging through sets or links, visual and easy on both phone and computers, and helpful in preventing inbox overwhelm. It's perfect for those who want to stay organized and don't want unwanted distractions. So this feature today was demonstrated on my Gmail web account. The feature will be coming to the mobile app on your mobile device. I have a Pixel 8 Pro and it's not on there at present, but will be under the promotions tab, but it's just not available yet. I'm sure it will be rolling out later this week. Well, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Hopefully you enjoyed this short video. Watch for this if you're a Gmail user. It's a good one. Remember that like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Okay, so that's the new feature, and it will be rolling out as I speak, and you should be getting it shortly. We can talk about that in the Q&A, but I want to start now as Chris is going to talk about searching your photographs. Let's see what she has to say.
I want to show you some sample searches using Google Photos. First on the phone, then on the computer. Google Photos, you tap search, and let's do dates. I'm thinking of a particular date, July 4, 1998. And you tap search. These are the photos on that day. Why did I pick that day? This is when Jim and I got married. We had a very unconventional wedding. You'll see that we're wearing our propeller beanies. Even then, aren't we cute? What if I just typed July 4 and search? That's going to show me what we were doing on July 4 in each year, 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019, etc. Or if you want to see a whole month in a given year, you can just type August, and just the 3 letters is good enough. August 2013. And here are all the pictures from August, starting with the latest, August 31, and going back to August 1 of 2013. Sometimes you will see these autofill options after you've typed a month. So March 2023, March 20. If you tap on those, notice the little calendar. That means you are absolutely getting results that are in that month's calendar rather than a picture where people are marching, for example. You're getting calendar results. Okay, on to people. As soon as you tap on search, you will see this section for people. You can view all, and if I notice that my face has my full name in there, Chris Guld, you tap on that, you will see all the pictures with my face in it. But that also means that I can search by my name. So I can type Chris Guld, and Odie, our dog. And I will see pictures of me with our dog. But remember, that's only if you have named the pictures. So there is Odie in the people and pets section of search. But be aware, I did not tag any of these pictures with Odie. Google Photos goes through and recognizes faces of people and pets, and it automatically puts them together in a group. Then it's up to you to add a name. Places. There is a places section in the search area as well. I generally find it easier to think of a place I want and then type it in rather than hunt through all of these. So for example, Mount Rushmore. And it's showing me all our pictures of Mount Rushmore. We were there at several 2004, 2011, and 2013. Something I want you to notice here, as soon as I type Mount Rushmore, I even just type Mount RUS, and I see this little emblem. This means an album. So I say, oh, I have an album of Mount Rushmore pictures. That's even better. Don't let it search through my 100,000. Just show me the album that I've already made of my best pictures of Mount Rushmore. So the key there is do not press search. So I just do Mount Rushmore and take a look at what it is suggesting. And that is an album. Now let me go to the computer and show you how it works there. We're just on a browser at photos.google.com. This is my photos, all 100,000 of them, and I can search for Mount Rushmore. Just same thing. The search bar is always up at the top, and there is the album. I like it. Probably the most fun is searching for just things that are in the photo. For example, kayak. That searches through all of my photos and just finds the one with kayaks. Now you'll notice it is not always perfect. I do not see a kayak in this picture. I do not know why it pulled that up, but it errs on the side of inclusiveness. So you are bound to get the kayak picture that you want. You just might have to sort through a few more unrelated pictures, but most of these have kayaks in them. Then you can also combine. I can say kayak in Venice. Oh, notice that there's an album. Okay, I'll look at that. We did go kayaking in Venice. It is just so much fun to meet up with people. You start having a conversation. You want to show them a particular picture from your life. You can find it. Let's say you're looking for a picture from Christmas. You type Christmas and enter, and you might get hundreds. Now, how does it know it's Christmas? It knows that December 25 is Christmas. It also, though, will notice pictures of Santa or gift wrapped and decide that that should belong in a Christmas search. What if you're looking for a particular year? You just add that year in, Christmas 2000, and now you have just pictures of Christmas 2000. Anything you can think of, just give it a try. So I'm going to search for a picture of Mom hugging the dog, Odie. Look at that. Sometimes it blows me away, other times it not so much, but give it a try. Another one, I'm thinking of a picture. All I remember is that it was people sitting at a picnic table. And there we go, a bunch of people sitting at picnic tables or other kind of tables, but they're all pretty close. And here's the one I was thinking of. Notice it's from June of 2009. My lifetime of photos is in here, and I can find any photo I'm thinking of.
Say something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, if people were trying to follow along, you might notice that it now says ask rather than search. My goal is to have a new video for next week that talks about the differences. All those examples, though, still work.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris. One of the great, how does it do that? How does it search 100,000 pictures so quickly? How does it do that? That's so cool.
Magic.
Magic.
Google magic.
That's crazy. Unbelievable. All right. Okay, let's start. I guess the next one is me. I'm up. We're going to talk about the things that you need to know about Chrome OS before purchasing a Chromebook. Let's see what I have to say. Ten things you need to know about Chrome OS before purchasing a Chromebook. I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, where we help seniors understand technology and help them make right decisions about computer purchasing. And today I want to talk about 10 things that you should be aware about before purchasing a Chromebook. Now, I'm a passionate user of Chromebooks, and have been since they first came out and were available commercially. So my partner and I from Tech for Senior, Hewie Poplock, we ran a learning Chromebook series for 3 years. We did it every month, and I'll put the link down below because there's still some good videos in that series that I think you might enjoy if you're purchasing a Chromebook. I, of course, am a very passionate user of Chromebooks and bought a Samsung Chromebook when they first came out and were available commercially. Today, my goal is to talk a little bit about Chrome OS and give you some guidance if you are looking at purchasing a Chromebook. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to mention is Chrome OS. What is Chrome OS? Well, the word Chrome, it's not Chrome space operating system OS. It's actually one word. It's Chrome, CHROME, OS, and it's trademarked by Google as the operating system that runs a Chromebook. So when we talk about Chrome OS, we're talking about the operating system that runs a Chromebook. Now this is a slide I call an oldie but a goodie. This is one of my very first slides I made when I started teaching Chromebooks, and I made it in PowerPoint. You'll see that the Windows operating system is characterized by a big semi-truck with a lot of trailers on the back. You'll see that Mac is the same, but at the bottom here you'll see that we have a Mazda Miata, which is a fast little sports car, and this is what I would consider the Chrome OS. Let's go back and think about this from the very beginning. In 1976, I graduated from medical school. There were no computers or PCs at that time. I remember probably in about 78, I went on a holiday with a friend of mine who brought a luggable PC. Remember those luggable PCs? Right. And in 1982-83, I did something that nobody else had done before in our area. I actually put a PC in a medical clinic. Now these were PCs at that time were standalone units. Microsoft had just come out and we're desperately trying to make software all work together. There was no internet, there was no email. That didn't come till over 10 years later. So there was a period of time here where the Mac operating system and Windows operating system developed long before the internet. Now you'll remember the fateful release of Windows 95. Yes, Windows 95 had a piece of software in there called Internet Explorer. You got a free browser included in your Windows operating system that would allow you to connect to the internet. This, of course, was a massive disaster on a number of fronts, but the first was viruses. We'd never had viruses. Nobody knew anything about it, and now we had a flood of problems. Now, over the next 20 years, Microsoft would spend billions of dollars and 20 years of development to try and make Internet Explorer safe for you to use on the internet. And they never did manage that task. And thankfully, it is in history. Internet Explorer is something we remember in the back of our minds, a bad thing, and it's never going to resurface because it was not possible. It was written in an era where, of course, we didn't have the same threats as we do today. So part of what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of historical stuff in those two great big huge trucks back there those companies have to deal with. Those are legacy systems. We call them legacy. Just about 15 years ago, Google decided to write Chrome OS. Now this was a modern day software, and you know how it came into effect. Well, let me tell you. There was a theory about 25 years ago that in the United States, in the primary education system, is that you had to have an iPad to teach children. If you didn't, you would never teach them correctly. And this theory caused lots of problems for the school districts. They had to purchase a large number of iPads, and they were expensive. And this caused tremendous financial hardship in the US public school system. And Chrome decided they could build a computer that would be far cheaper. So they designed a Chromebook, they designed the Chrome operating system, and of course it was a modern day operating system that had been written for all the perils that were there today. It wasn't a legacy system like the other ones we talked about. It is a modern day operating system. And it was designed for kids on the internet. Now let me think, how many ways could kids get into problems on the internet? So it was designed with massive security there. Yeah, and it was very successful. Chromebooks, of course, instantly were adopted into the US school system, and there for about 6 or 7 years before they were finally released for the consumer market. So just going back to this slide for a minute, that's the portrayal here, is that the Chrome operating system is a tiny itty bitty little operating system. It goes very fast and is very efficient. All right, let's talk a little bit about security. I mentioned that with kids in school and connected to the internet, we have to have something that's very secure. So many of you are thinking about Chromebooks and you're coming from a PC background where you've had antivirus software or malware. None of this is required with the Chrome operating system. This is all built into the operating system and there's nothing you have to do. In fact, you'll never see antivirus or malware on your Chromebook. It is all built in and part of the operating system, and it gets updated regularly and to keep you safe. So you can forget about all that. There's nothing you have to do for security. Oh, and you know something that's sort of funny? Many of you are watching this because you can't upgrade your Windows machine. The hardware won't let you update to Windows 11. And that's because you need a little chip called a TPM chip. Now, the TPM chip is actually a great chip and it's good for security. And I think it's great that Microsoft is actually doing this. But you know something? Chromebooks had TPM chips since the very inception. It's one of the cornerstones of their security. It took Microsoft 20 years to figure this out. Anyway, Chromebooks have always had a TPM chip. So when you go to bed at night and you turn your computer off, the gremlins work all night and make sure that you're safe. And when you turn your computer on in the morning, you don't even know it, but it's being updated and everything is going to work fine for you. In actual fact, there's 2 copies of Chrome OS. There's a primary and a secondary copy, and it's the secondary copy that gets updated all the time. And when you go to bed, it switches the copies. So that works very well and keeps you secure, and you never get bugged about updates in the middle of your presentation. Works great and will keep you safe. So let's talk about the Chrome browser. The Chrome browser is used today by about 85% of the PC users in the world today. It is successful because of the problems we had with Internet Explorer. People left that piece of software many years ago and moved to something that a modern day browser, of course, that Google wrote called Chrome. Now, I suspect most of you are familiar with this. Some of you may even use Google Drive now and use some of the other features associated with Google's products. Well, the Chrome browser is integrated into the Chrome OS. In other words, it is part of the operating system. So you cannot uninstall or delete the Chrome browser. You have to think of the Chrome browser when you're thinking about Chrome OS is it's all one. It's part of the same thing. When you start to use Chrome OS, you'll be very familiar with all the features because essentially it is your Chrome browser. Now within the Chrome browser, you can certainly change your search engine and you can use Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, or Bing. So you can change that. You cannot delete the Chrome browser. Now you can use other browsers as apps on top of Chrome OS. That's certainly possible. If you're very paranoid and you just can't deal with the Chrome browser and you definitely want to use something different, then Chromebooks probably aren't for you and you should move on to something else. All right, let's talk a little bit about ChromeOS and the integration with Google Drive. Well, the concept of a Chromebook is that most of the stuff done on a Chromebook is going to be done in the cloud. In other words, you're connected to the internet and it is integrated tightly with Google Drive. Now, you can use Microsoft products and OneDrive, but the concept of a Chromebook is that it is tightly integrated with Google Drive, and Google Drive, of course, is in the cloud. So Chromebooks really don't require a large hard drive because the storage, of course, of your information is mostly going to be in the cloud and not on your Chromebook. This makes it very easy and cheaper to produce Chromebooks because you don't need a lot of resources to store your information. Now, the common question I get asked, can you use a Chromebook if you're not connected to the internet? And the answer to that, of course, is yes. Whether you're using Gmail, Google Drive, or any of the services that you have on a Chromebook, there is an offline feature. So you can take, for example, Gmail, and you can run Gmail offline. You may be on an airplane or traveling or on holidays, and yes, you can answer your email, write email, and when you connect back to the internet, of course, this information will be synced and uploaded to the World Wide Web. But I have one caution for you. Chromebooks really work well if you are connected to the internet, and if you live in an area where your internet connection is very spotty, it's not good, and you have problem connecting, then Chromebooks probably aren't going to be for you. You don't need a high-speed internet connection. You don't even need a fast connection. You just need a reliable connection for your Chromebook to work well for day-to-day activity. Now, a friend of mine wrote me an email the other day, and in the email was discussing computer issues and mentioned that Chromebooks were generally an underpowered device. Have you ever wanted to go out in the street and just scream in the sky? You all have got it wrong. And of course, saying that Chromebooks are underpowered is not true at all. And in fact, my Chromebook has a Ryzen chip in it, and it's blazing speed. It's much faster than my $4,000 Dell Studio that I have in my office here. So Chromebooks are extremely fast and a complete replacement for 98% of the people that want to replace their PC. Work just fine, and you'll have lots of speed, and it will be very fast. But you know, you can go and you can buy a Chromebook online for $99. Yes, there are many different companies that make Chromebooks, and they make them with all sorts of specifications. And yes, a 5-year-old in a school classroom needs a low budget Chromebook. Would you be happy with a $99 Chromebook that was built for a grade 5 student? Probably not. So it gets very complicated because there are so many different models out there. But fortunately, 2 years ago, Google had came up with a new designation, and that is called a Chromebook Plus. Now, a Chromebook Plus is a Chromebook that's built for specifications that would be equal to a PC that you might have. So when you go and you are shopping for a Chromebook, and if you are looking for a replacement for your PC, look for a Chromebook Plus designation. If you go to Best Buy, go and say you just want to see Chromebook Plus models. The Chromebook Plus designation means that it has a minimum standard of hardware in there that would be equal to or even better than a PC. It makes it very easy when you're doing shopping. So I would recommend you watch for that Chromebook Plus designation. It'll be on the box, and it'll be very obvious now that it is a Chromebook Plus. So watch for that. Now, another great thing about ChromeOS is the compatibility with apps in the Play Store. You'll find that when you get your Chromebook and open it up, you'll see there's an icon there that says Play Store, and that's going to take you to the same place where you get your Android apps for your phone. In fact, most of the Android apps on your phone will of course work on your Chromebook. because the apps are all compatible with Chrome OS. Works really well. It's neat. Snapdragon is one of the ones I use for editing Google Photos pictures, and it's always hard using it on a small screen on my phone. I love it on my Chromebook because you can use it in a full screen. Great product, Play Store compatible. All right, so for those of you who are adventuresome, you can run Linux on a Chromebook. There actually is an option in the Chrome OS to install Linux. You just click the button, it'll automatically install for you. Now, it's a little bit different in that Linux runs as a container within the Chrome OS. So you actually are not running one or the other, you're running both of them. And you can have, of course, one of your apps from the Chrome OS running at the same time as you have an app running in Linux. They run at the same time, and you can interchange the information. So about 6 years ago, I made a video called "It's Only a Chromebook," and I'll put the link in the description below. And in the video, I had 3 apps running, and the first was using Google Docs. It was using Google Drive, of course, on my Chromebook, and that was running in the Chrome OS. I then was using a Microsoft product called Microsoft Word, and I had Word running. And then the third one, I had Firefox running, but that was running in Linux. And so the 3 apps were on my Chromebook, and you could click one, you could move freely between each of those programs. I titled it, "It's Only a Chromebook." I'll put the link down below. So it is something that is available for you if you are a Linux buff and you want to try this and use it on a Chromebook. It works great. So people often talk about the exceptional battery life you get on Chromebooks, and you do. But I also wanted to remind everyone about a Chrome box. You don't have to actually get a laptop. You can actually get a Chrome box, which is just a box with the Chrome operating system in it, and then you can plug any of your peripherals into it. So it's the same things as a Windows NUC or the Apple Mini. We have a Chrome box, which is just the peripheral. It's just a little thing you put in the palm of your hand, plug anything in there, and you've got your Chrome operating system running it. So think about that. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed my talk on Chrome OS. I believe that a Chromebook in 2025 is a great alternative for your PC for about 98% of people. Consider that if you're looking at migrating from a Windows 10 PC to another option. And be sure and hit that like and subscribe, and we'll notify you on any other videos coming out that we make at Tech for Senior. Okay, if any questions, we'll take those in the Q&A. Hewie, you're going to tell us all about computer ports. Like, I still don't understand these, so I had to watch the video again. This is a good video. So let's see what Hewie has to say about computer ports.
PC and laptop ports explained. What are all those connections? I'm Hewie Poplock. Got a new PC or a laptop and wondering what all the ports and connections are for? Here are some of the most common modern connection types, plus some of the older and deprecated connectors you might find on older hardware. Data connectors. These connectors are designed primarily with data transfer in mind. They may also carry audio, power, or a network signal too. There's the USB Type-C. The new ubiquitous connector USB-C is a fully reversible 24-pin digital data connector. It can be used as a USB data port, including USB 3.1 and above, as a video connection using DisplayPort alternate mode or HDMI alternate mode, as part of the Thunderbolt 3 or 4 specification, or as a means of charging peripherals such as USB power delivery. Not all USB-C cables are built alike, so make sure you pick a good one. As we race towards a future where USB-C dominates, you can upgrade your older cables with cheap adapters. The Thunderbolt. The modern Thunderbolt 3 and 4 ports share the USB-C connector, but they're not necessarily the same. Many computers feature a small lightning bolt symbol next to the Thunderbolt ports, and some laptops, like the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro, designate all USB-C ports as Thunderbolt connectors. Thunderbolt is an active technology, which means it has electrical circuitry in its connectors that are capable of high transfer speeds up to 80 gigabit per second on Thunderbolt 4. Older Thunderbolt 1 and 2 connectors were different, featuring a non-reversible connector. You can buy adapters for those devices for use with modern Thunderbolt ports, though the speed remains capped at the oldest specification. Thunderbolt has some neat tricks that USB specifications lack, like the ability to daisy chain connections. What about Thunderbolt versus USB-C? Well, the main difference between Thunderbolt and USB-C is that Thunderbolt has USB-C capabilities. However, USB-C does not have Thunderbolt capabilities. The Thunderbolt port is designed similarly to the USB-C connector. However, if you connect a Thunderbolt connection to a USB-C port, your possibilities will be limited. Thunderbolt technology offers a maximum data transfer rate of up to 40 gigabits per second, while USB-C offers a maximum data transfer rate of up to 10 gigabits per second. This means that the Thunderbolt is more than 4 times faster than USB-C. If you need to transfer large files quickly, Thunderbolt is the better option. USB Type A. Deprecated but still present on many devices, USB-A is what many of us simply refer to as USB for most of our lives. It's a non-reversible conductor that was first introduced in 1996 to replace slower and more cumbersome connectors like serial and parallel ports. Over the course of USB's lifespan, transfer rates have gone from 1.5 microbits per second to 80 gigabits per second in USB 4 version 2.0. USB-A connectors were deprecated after USB 3.1 in 2013, which means the maximum speed they're capable of is 10 gigabits per second. Many modern devices still use a USB-A port for compatibility, but you're better off buying and using USB-C where possible. Ethernet, IEEE 802.3. An Ethernet port connects your computer to a wired network connection. Standardized in 1983, Ethernet began life with paltry speeds of just under 3 megabits per second, with the latest standard capable of 400 gigabits per second with speeds of 1.6 terabytes per second expected by 2025. To take advantage of the higher speed, you'll need the network interface on your computer, a router, and cabling to all be compatible with your desired speed. The plug is often referred to as an RJ45. Power connectors. The following is a selection of common power connectors that you can find on a desktop and notebook computer. Be aware that USB-C, listed above or talked about earlier, has become a common power connector for many laptops and peripherals. IEC 6320 C13 and 14, the kettle plug, found on the back of most desktop computers and many game consoles. This connector is informally known as the kettle plug for its use in other consumer electronics. They also are commonly used for amplifiers, audio and video equipment, monitors, and other peripherals. You never knew it had a name. IEC 6320 C5 and C6, the cloverleaf. Like the kettle plug, the cloverleaf is another common power adapter, but one that's more commonly found on external laptop power adapters. The C6 male connector connects it to a C5 socket on the power brick itself, with a plug on the other end to connect to main power. There is a thinner adapter cable that connects to the laptop. The DC barrel connector, available on a vast range of sizes, a DC or direct current barrel connector or jack is used to connect an external laptop power adapter to the laptop in question. These are less common than they once were since the arrival of USB power delivery, but many laptops still use them. An Apple-specific power connector, MagSafe, made its return with the 2021 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro revision, with the 2022 MacBook Air redesign, also including support for the format. The connector uses a magnet to hold it securely in place, with the magnet connection easily breaking away if the cord gets snagged, preventing your laptop from being dragged off the desk. MagSafe also appeared on older Apple computers, but disappeared for around 5 years, starting in 2016. MacBook models with MagSafe were introduced in 2021 and later used MagSafe 3, which is a different shape to the MagSafe 2, which launched in 2012, which itself is incompatible with the original MagSafe that debuted in 2006. Video connectors. Want to carry video from your computer to a monitor, television, or projector? You'll probably be using one of the following. What you're seeing on the screen is a VGA connector, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Display port. Commonly found on computer monitors, but not televisions, graphic cards, and laptops, the DisplayPort, or DP connector, is a non-reversible 20-pin digital video connection. The standard was first released in 2006 as a means to replace DVI, VGA, and other outdated connectors. Like USB, the standard has evolved over the years to support higher bandwidth connections that allow for greater resolutions and faster refresh rates. DP 1.4, introduced in 2016, is arguably the most common iteration, supporting up to 32.4 gigabits per second, plus optional DSC, or display stream compression. DP 2.0 launched in late 2022 with a bandwidth of up to 80 gigabits per second. In addition to video, the standard can also transport audio and USB data. HDMI Type A, short for High Definition Multimedia Interface. HDMI is one of the most ubiquitous digital video connector in the world. Utilizing a 19-pin connector, HDMI was first introduced in 2002 and has gone through several iterations, introducing higher bandwidth capacities for greater resolutions, frame rates, and additional features like 3D and HDR video. The HDMI 2.1 standard caps out at 48 gigabits per second, capable of up to 10K video at 100 hertz and a DSC, display stream compression. The standard is necessary to take advantage of 4K HDR video at 120 hertz on consoles like PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and graphics cards like the NVIDIA 30 and 40 series. It also includes built-in support for variable refresh rate, or VRR, using HDMI adaptive sync. HDMI transfers video, audio, Ethernet, and CEC, consumer electronics control, data for controlling other connected devices. Technologies like ARC, which is audio return channel, are built on the HDMI standard. There's the standard HDMI, the mini, and the micro. VGA, outdated but still found on many recent devices from the last 5 years or so, particularly TVs. VGA stands for Video Graphics Array and its 15-pin analog video connector was especially common on chunky old CRT monitors, projectors, and early flat screen LCDs. Though old, VGA managed to stick around long past its due as a PC port on many smart TVs. Audio connectors. Audio is now often bundled with video connections like HDMI and DisplayPort, but dedicated audio connections are still present on most computers with both input and output. Commonly used for two-channel stereo audio and microphone input, the 3.5mm jacks are common on all types of computers. You'll find them on the back of a desktop, often with separate output and input ports, on the front of the PC cases, and on laptops with mixed-use ports. Typically speaking, green ports are used for stereo output, while the red ports signify a microphone input. These outputs are integrated digital to analog converters, or DACs, which make it easy to connect your computer to an external speaker or an old amplifier. Optical, or SPDIF, and Toslink. The optical cables carry a digital audio signal using a special fiber optic cable. Toslink is short for Toshiba Link and is named after the company that created the standard. SPDIF stands for Sony Philips Digital Interface, and it refers to the software component of the standard. Though they deliver a cleaner sound than analog connectors and are not subject to interference from radio frequencies or ground loops, optical does have some drawbacks. Plastic optical cables are usually limited to 5 or 10 meters in length due to the potential for signal degradation, and cables can become damaged from being bent or compressed. The Kensington lock. Not really a port at all, a Kensington lock slot allows for you to attach a keyed or combination lock to your laptop to prevent it from being stolen. Some outdated or uncommon ports. The following ports may be found on older hardware, but are rarely included on the modern devices. The PS2 connections, IEEE 1394 FireWire, DVI, parallel ports. The port got its name from the method of data transfer, where bits of data could be transferred simultaneously in parallel. Parallel was eventually superseded by USB, particularly USB 2.0 and integrated network interfaces. The PC card. Serial ports. Like parallel, serial got its name from the method of data transfer, where data is sent and received sequentially rather than simultaneously. And here are many ports on the side of a lot of the laptops. The optical connector. As a summary, here are the most common laptop ports. PC and laptop ports explained. What are all those connections? I'm Hewie Poplock.
A blast for the past, some of those serial and parallel ports. Wow. All right, we've got to move on. If you are over watching on our YouTube channel, thank you for coming. And don't forget, we're not there on Thursday, so don't watch our Thursday show. And we will be back, though, August the 7th. If you want to pop over and participate in the Q&A, you're most welcome to do it. And Mike, I'm just going to turn off this and you can get going.
Okie dokie. So, share my screen. So, today, another one of the performers who's passed away in recent time, Bobby Sherman, born Robert Cabot Sherman Jr. on July 22nd, 1943 in Santa Monica, California. He was a prominent American singer and actor who rose to fame as a teen idol in the early 70s. Excuse me. He sadly passed away on June 24th, 2025, at the age of 81 after a battle with stage 4 cancer. His career began in the mid-60s when he was discovered at Hollywood and landed a role as a house singer on the ABC television show Shindig. His popularity exploded, which garnered him immense fan mail. Some smile, shaggy pop style became a regular on the covers of teen magazines like Tiger. Beyond his acting, he also released a string of successful singles and albums. In the 70s, he stepped away largely from the entertainment industry and as a note from him doing a guest TV show you may remember, Emergency, which was a Jack Webb and sort of the beginning of the paramedic movement in the Los Angeles Fire Department. So he began to pursue a career as a paramedic and a deputy sheriff. He became the medical training officer at the Los Angeles Reserve Officer in 1999. He did perform occasionally into the 1990s, had guest appearances on shows like The Partridge Family, The Mod Squad, Emergency, like I mentioned, The Love Boat, Murder, She Wrote, and Frasier. His major hit songs in their years, he had several major hits. Probably the biggest one was Little Woman in 1969, his first gold record, peaking at number 3 on the Hot 100. Easy Come, Easy Go, La La La, If I Had You, some other notables, Cried Like a Baby, and Hey Mr. Sun. So I've selected 2 cuts here, and one tells me the first one apparently doesn't play properly, but I'm going to send the link for it. If you can't find it under this link or it doesn't play properly, if you simply search for Bobby Sherman, Little Woman, you'll find one that will. To do that, so we'll have a clip to play. The other thing I mentioned today is the 85th birthday of one of the Beatles. Ringo Starr turned 85 today, and he's still performing. Just another side note, if anyone's interested, this past weekend was my 50th high school reunion, and I did an extensive playlist of music from the 70s, 72s, 3, 4, 5. And if anyone's interested in that, please note it in the chat, and I will provide the link to it. It's a 6.5-hour Spotify playlist of the hits of those years. So, Ron, if you want to take it away, I'll stop my sharing here and I'll post these links, and away we'll go.
All right. Well done, Mike. A blast from the past.
For sure.
All right. Okay, let's move on now. Thanks a lot. We are going to remind everyone, if you have to run off, don't forget about our 3 videos that we're playing as our premiere series. I put the links in the chat. I'll be talking on communicating. Ray's going to talk about CPU versus NPU, and then I'm going to talk about Gemini Live and how to use that. So that will be coming up at 1:30. Don't forget that we're not online for our Thursday show this week. And reminder that, of course, we have a great host for next week, who will be Hewie Poplock.